Well, we know reform are shaking things up in the British political sphere, and it's also safe to say that the main parties are not happy. In fact, I would go even further and say that they are scared. In today's video, we have Harriet Harman in Meltdown on live TV as she calls reform a threat to democracy. You can smell the fear coming off of her and the Labour Party. But first, hit the like button and subscribe to the channel and join our fast-growing community. Just a quick one to say we have new Make Britain Great. Again, t-shirts available on our store. Go grab them now. They are available at britishstand.com or check the link in the description. So yeah, have a watch of this.
Harriet, it's not just the Tories who have to be worried. Mr Farage is after Labour seats as well, and I think the number now was they came second in 89 seats to Labour. How worried should the party be about the threat, or the challenge, I should say, from Farage?
Well, I think people should be very concerned about reform because they're not just a threat to individual parties, but I actually think they're a threat to democracy because they are offering easy answers to real problems, which are not a solution and will just increase people's distrust and disillusionment. But I think the Shadow Minister who you had on was really in denial about the situation. If you look at the council by-election results, and I'm afraid I look at them every Friday morning very anxiously after the Thursday council by-elections, what they show, I know, is that they show a real fall in Labour's support. If you look at the percentage change, it's not just about who's won, it's who's voting and what the percentage change is. And reform from a standing start is like gaining 40%, whereas the Labour's down, but the Tories are massively down as well. And I think that the main threat to reform currently, from reform, is to the Tory party. And what I didn't see is any acknowledgement, and we haven't seen this either from Kemi Badenoch, that reform is a problem. They're saying it's not a problem. Until they say, look, we're really up against it, they won't start dealing with it.
How well has that rhetoric worked for the Democrats? Reminder that Labour tried to overturn Brexit, and Labour who have lied to the public. If there's a threat to be had, it's the establishment. What are your thoughts on this? Let me know in the comments. In other news, a convicted terrorist is suing a pub after he was allegedly deeply offended by a sign that scared him. Khalid Barker, 60, who has spent 4 years in prison for creating jihadi propaganda, said that the depiction of a bearded Arab Turk on the boozer's sign incites violence. He is now suing the Saracen's Head Inn in Amersham, Buckinghamshire, for almost £2,000, stating that the figure on the sign, which depicts a brown-skinned man of Arab or Turkish descent, is racist. If successful, the 60-year-old plans to take on 30 other pubs with the same name. However, the landlord of the inn is fighting back against the lawsuit, which he branded a complete joke. Speaking to The Sun, Robbie Hayes said, "This has been called the Saracen's Head for 500 years. He's just chancing his hand. Of course it worries me. You never know with people like this. We won't be pushed around and change hundreds of years of history just because some loudmouth wants to cause trouble." He said that the sign and the name were simply historic rather than racist, and insisted that his pubgoers were all tolerant individuals. When Barker filed the claim to a county court, he said that the sign instilled worry and fear in me since it was clearly xenophobic, racist, and inciting violence to certain people. He said that he visited the pub in person to voice his concerns, though staff at the inn say they have no record. Saracen is a term used since at least the 5th century to refer to Arabs, and later linked to Muslims. The pub name Saracen's Head is said to be linked to the Crusades. It is one of the most popular names for a pub in the UK, alongside the Red Lion and the Royal Oak. The 60-year-old told the publication that he has always been offended by names like the Amersham pubs, though has only just discovered ways to challenge them. "I've stopped all the terrorism stuff now," he added. In 2018, Barker was jailed for 4 years and 8 months after admitting 5 counts of dissemination of terrorist publications. In other news, a 12-year-old girl has been charged with manslaughter following the death of pensioner Bim Kohli, who died in hospital after being injured in a park in Braunstone Town in September, Leicestershire police said. Coley, who was walking his dog in Franklin Park, was seriously assaulted on September 1st and died in hospital the following day. A post-mortem examination found he died of a neck injury. The girl, who cannot be named for legal reasons, is due to appear at Leicester Youth Court, sitting at Leicester Magistrates Court on Monday. A 15-year-old boy has already been charged with the murder of Coley. He is due to appear at Leicester Crown Court later this week. Coley was a retired factory owner and leaves behind his wife, 3 children and 2 grandchildren. His daughter previously said that the attack left her father with neck and spine injuries, and prior to the assault, he had already been scheduled to undergo surgery. Leicestershire police said in a statement, "The girl, who cannot be named for legal reasons, has been charged with manslaughter and is due to appear at Leicester Youth Court, sitting at Leicester Magistrates Court today. A 15-year-old boy has already been charged with the murder of Mr. Coley. Coley is understood to have previously reported antisocial behaviour to the police after he was spat at and had rocks thrown at him by a group of youths. His family said in a statement, "Beam was a loving husband, dad and granddad. He was also a son, brother and uncle. He adored his grandkids with all his heart and loved spending time with them. He really was such a loving, caring person whose life was centred around his family. He has always been a very hard-working man, and even at the age of 80 he was still very active. One of his great passions was his allotment. He would go every day to tend to his plots and was so proud of them. He also enjoyed walking the family dog Rocky on the park many times a day. BM loved to laugh. He was always very happy and talkative, the joker of the family, and always loved to outsmart us with a smile. Our family have lived in the same house in Braunstone for 40 years, so he was very well known in the community. We have been overwhelmed by the messages and support from many who knew him. Our hearts have been completely broken. We are now pulling together as a family to try and support each other through the most difficult time imaginable, and would ask for privacy while we do this." What are your thoughts on what we discussed in today's video? Let me know down in the comment section below. I want to quickly say thank you for all the recent support on the channel. We are growing really fast and are now getting closer to our goal of 200,000 subscribers. We started this channel just over 4 months ago, with the vision to show the British public the real stories from up and down the country, whilst calling out the BS the MSN try and shove down our throats. So from everyone at British Stand, thank you. If you've not yet already, make sure you do drop a like on this video and subscribe to the channel for more British content. Thank you. Take care. Goodbye.